Don't ever try the Charlie Charlie game. Charlie Charlie is a game where you summon a presence only known as Charlie to ask it any questions that you'd like. You start the game by crossing a pencil on top of another one on a piece of paper with yes and no written on every corner of it. You must then summon Charlie by saying, Charlie Charlie, are you there? You can now ask your question.
Tiptoe by the window, that is where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me.
Artwork created by the mentally imbalanced hold a particular fascination to people because they provide a unique insight into an unseen world. They help us to understand how people with mental disorders experience the world around them. These artworks are often highly disturbing, conveying the full horror of their madness far better than any psychologist can.
That doesn't go anywhere. Why are you scratching at the fucking shower? You're an idiot. What the fuck? What the fuck?
I can see you from behind. You can hear me in your mind. Run so fast as you can go. Time will catch you before.
Creepy Facts, Part 71. A zombie apocalypse technically is not impossible. Cordyceps is a fungus that kills its host and then overrides its nervous system in order to transport it to a new area that's ideal for releasing spores. The scary part is the species that took over ants was able to develop a way to infect tarantulas as well. So there is a not 0% chance that it could later develop to infect humans as well.
Urban legends from every state. The legend of the Grunge. Located in East New Orleans. Here's the story. Back when the city was first established, there was a group of people. They were a strange mix of albinos and dwarves, exiled from society and forced to live in the woods. During that time, people considered them creations of the devil. It is said that they began to interbreed, becoming almost inhuman in their appearance. If you ever find yourself on Grunge Road in New Orleans, do not stop your car, especially if you see a dead goat. They supposedly feast on goats and humans. Which state is next?
Morbid Facts, Part 119. Pablo Picasso used to carry around a revolver loaded with blanks, and when people asked him about the meaning of his paintings, he would pretend to shoot them in the face. In 2012, 66-year-old Stevie Crecelius went to the hospital thinking he had a kidney stone. During that visit, he would find out that he actually had a strange condition and had been a woman his whole life. Nicolas Cage has already bought his grave, and it's a 9-foot-tall pyramid in Louisiana. In 2005, a suicidal man in California parked his car in front of a commuter train. The train hit his car but derailed and collided with 2 additional trains. The accident resulted in 11 deaths and nearly 200 injuries, but the man survived and was sentenced to life in prison without parole.
Have you ever seen the creepy hidden mother photography?
This was a very common form of photography back in the Victorian era,
Where young children were photographed with their mother present but hidden in the photograph.
This is because they wanted to keep the child as still as possible while the photograph was being taken, because back then cameras had very long exposure times.
So to get a clear picture of a child during the 19th century, the child had to be persuaded to stay still. So the mother or nanny would be hidden within the frame, often behind curtains, under cloaks, or disguised as chairs. Sometimes photographers would even remove parts of the photograph after so the mother would not be seen.
So it would be this photo with like this huge black smudge on it. It looked bizarre. I don't know, something about looking at all these old photographs just gives me the creeps.
If you ever see a sign like this on a building or around the back, make sure you run and don't stop. Now this story is said to be true but also confidential, so the details are very hard to find. A small town is rocked when the dismembered body of a little girl is found in the wheelie bin out the back of a group of shops. They said a manhunt was quickly launched and police knocked door to door on all residents to ask them questions about the little girl. But nothing shows up until some local kids tell police about this sign that's sitting at the back of an Asian restaurant. Although thinking the sign was a joke, police decide to follow up the owners. But police are refused entry and quickly get a search warrant. Within the first level of this hotel, they find kids' corpses, and the upper half have been used on medical experiments on these kids. Reports say that the discarded body parts were chopped up as food and sold to the townspeople themselves. People say police deny this and the case was closed and then sealed.
This is why you should never take a prank too far. Once there were two young twins who lived in a small town and they were known for constantly misbehaving. One day a man had passed away peacefully in his home and the twins wanted to play a prank on everyone else living in the town, so they snuck into the house and started messing with the man's body. One twin moved his mouth like a puppet and the other one poked his eyes out with a stick. As they were doing this, they heard footsteps. They couldn't find anywhere to hide, so they placed the body back in the coffin, then got in the coffin themselves and closed the lid. But what they didn't know was they were taking the coffin straight to the funeral. The people carrying the coffin noted that it was much heavier than usual but brushed it off. No one even noticed that the twins were gone until the coffin was lowered. The twins' mother appeared at the cemetery about the missing twins, which stopped the funeral and began a search. Eventually, the man carrying the coffin confessed that the coffin had weighed more than it was supposed to, so they lifted it out and opened the lid. They did find the boys there, but they found them lying on top of the body, whose hands were wrapped tightly around each of their necks. The twins had been strangled to death.
Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew. Part 19. Facebook was forced to shut down two artificial intelligence robots named Alice and Bob because they started communicating with one another in their own language. If you ever win the lottery, you're 120 times more likely to be killed by an immediate family member. A sloth has nipples in its armpits. In the 17th century, there was a man named Tare who could eat his entire body weight in just one sitting. And despite being pretty skinny, he would swallow live animals, eat human corpses, and was even accused of eating the body of a 3-year-old toddler. An 11-year-old boy named Konarak escaped Jeffrey Dahmer's apartment but was later returned to Dahmer by police, and he killed the boy just 30 minutes after. It's commonly believed in religion that angels look like this, but according to the Bible, they actually look like this.
What would you do if you knew for sure that your cat had seen a ghost? Well, a young family was sitting around watching TV late one night when they heard a loud bang in the kitchen. The mother gets up and she goes into the kitchen, but notices that one of her pots are on the floor. She goes back in and says to her husband, "It's ridiculously cold in the kitchen for some reason." But thinking it must have been their family cat, they go back and watch TV. Until right in front of them, their black cat walks through the cat door, stops at the kitchen and stares. The cat then arches its back and starts hissing while walking backwards. At this stage, the family are freaked out as they watch their cat leap up into the air onto the table. A rush of cold air goes past and the cat door starts flapping with nothing going through it. From that night on, this happened every night to this family. Even to the point where they had paranormal experts stand in the kitchen and watch the pots fall. And with nobody being able to explain this occurrence happening every night, it was no surprise they soon sold.
Reacting to the scariest TikTok accounts, part 1. Today we're going to be talking about an account known as Sitting and Smiling. The username is literally exactly what it sounds like. This girl does nothing other than sit and smile. But it's about to get really creepy, so let's go ahead and take a look at it. The crazy thing is her videos have an abnormal amount of views. I mean, look how many, 8 million, 8 million, 4 million, I mean, a ton. But her latest video was posted on 4/18/2020. Why would somebody quit when they have that amount of views? The weird thing is her bio used to say, "I'm not kidnapped." And her bio changed. And I found her Instagram account and it gets even weirder. She hasn't posted in over 40 weeks and she posted this video of a butterfly. And I guess a bunch of her fans are saying MK Ultra. And do you know what MK Ultra is? MK Ultra was a top secret CIA project that gathered information with psychological torture. Also, click the link in my bio to watch my latest YouTube video. Horrifying facts, but the longer you watch, the worse they get. A body decomposes 4 times faster in water than it does on land. If you ever get decapitated, don't fear because for about 20 seconds after your head's cut off, you're still technically conscious. You'll be laying there and watch your head go one way and you'll be staring at your body. About 153,000 people die every single day, but twice that are born every day. Which means that one day the population is going to be so big where you aren't going to have any food or water. You actually can't die from old age. You only die from diseases that are brought on by old age. Technically, if there was a cure for like every single disease, you could potentially never die. Men who are hanged actually get an erection. So while you're hanging, your body the whole time is like this. Yeah, that one's just weird. More than 7,000 people die every single year simply from a doctor's bad handwriting. So next time you go to a doctor, make sure you really know what's wrong with you and make sure you get the right medicine. And for the last one, left-handed people typically die 3 years before right-handed people. Somehow y'all are gonna make that political. If you guys wanna see more facts like this, make sure to like and follow. I'll see you guys later.